Hello, welcome to History and Art Secrets for a new journey in search of knowledge. The Veronese Easters were an insurrection in Verona against the French occupation troops, commanded by Napoleon Bonaparte. The revolt, which broke out because of French oppression, began on the morning of April 17, 1797, Easter Monday. The exasperated population managed to knock out more than 1,000 French soldiers, while they were trying to take refuge in the castles of the city, which were taken by assault. The insurrection ended on April 25 with the encirclement of the city by 15,000 French soldiers. The consequences were the subsequent payment of large sums and the looting of works of art. It was one of the many episodes of the anti-French and anti-Jacobin movement, which broke out in Italy from 1796 to 1814. The Army of the Holy Faith, led by Cardinal Ruffo, reconquered the Kingdom of Naples, the Viva Maria bands in Tuscany and Liguria, and the Andreas Hofer revolt in Trentino and Tyrol. 280,000 insurgents participated in these uprisings with 70,000 deaths. The revolts were triggered by the Jacobin religious policy contrary to the Catholic values of Italian society. Napoleon's goal was to complete the conquest of Lombardy by annexing the provinces of Bergamo and Brescia, part of the Republic of Venice. The French arrived in Verona in June 1796, despite Venice having declared its neutrality. During the night between 16 and 17 April 1797, a poster was posted in the streets inciting a revolt against the French, but this was only a pretext for them to occupy the city. In its place, a new manifesto was published urging the population to remain calm, but by then the insurrection had begun. At 2 p.m. a fight broke out in a tavern between a Frenchman and a Croatian. The armed people gathered en masse and a rifle shot was fired that put the French to flight. The French commanders concentrated 600 soldiers in Piazza Bra. At 5 p.m., by order of General Balland, fire was opened from the cannons of Castel San Felice and Castel San Pietro. The insurrection began in Piazza Bra, where the French and Venetian soldiers were stationed, while the Veronese began to shoot from the buildings. Citizens began to come out of their houses and confronted the French and attacked them. Many were killed or taken prisoner while the bombardment of the city from the forts continued. Francesco Emilie was camped outside the city, and when he heard the news he moved towards Verona with his soldiers. The city gates, however, were defended by the French. Coldonio conquered Porta Vescovo, Nogarola Porta San Giorgio and Emilie Porta Essino, entering with 2,500 volunteers and 600 soldiers. The Venetian troops were divided into 4 corps sent to different places in the town. In the meantime negotiations began, which Balland dragged on waiting for reinforcements, but the negotiations failed and the Venetian governors tried to calm the population who continued to attack. Nothing could be heard but shouts throughout the city, "Viva San Marco!" In the meantime, the Armistice of Leoben was signed between Napoleon and Austria, in which Austria ceded Lombardy, Belgium and the territories of the Republic of Venice to France. On the 18th of April, Giovanelli and Contarini attempted a trip to Venice to ask the Senate for help. Until the 22nd of April the Veronese attacked the castles and Verona showed up with many neighborhoods in flames. On April 22, reinforcements arrived from Venice with 400 regulars, but the French generals Chevalier and de Chabran also arrived in Verona. On October 17, 1797, with the Treaty of Campo Formio, Veneto passed to Austria and the French abandoned Verona after having put down the revolt. There were 500 French killed, 2,400 prisoners and 1,000 wounded. For the Veronese there were 350 dead plus 1,500 infantrymen of the Venetian garrison of Verona deported to prison camps in France. If you liked this video, click like, share it on your social networks and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Hello.